In this series, I'm going to go through water-fed poles to clean your windows. When you first start, it can be quite daunting, especially when you're on a tight budget of what is the best water-fed pole to go for. Now, it doesn't matter what make you go for. For me, everything is basically X-Line in my van, but the same thing applies to other makes out there. Basically, water-fed pole breaks down into 4 main different types. The first one I'll start with is often the cheapest. And then as we work along to the 4th one, it goes up in price. What you'll have is glass fiber. These poles are fairly heavy, but they are robust and they are a bit flexible, but they're good when you're tight on a budget. The glass fiber poles that X-Line do, you've got 4 foot, then it moves up to 8 foot poles, and then it moves all the way up to 30 foot. Glass fiber is recommended when you're starting with ground floor and no higher than 1st floor windows. The glass fiber poles also tend to go no higher than 30 foot because, as we've already said, they're ideal for ground floor and 1st floor windows only. Okay, moving up from glass fiber, then we move up to what's called hybrid. This is a mixture of glass fiber and carbon fiber, so it's in the middle of the two. When I first started out is the Evolution Pro hybrid poles that I first started with. I got these because that's the ones I was recommended with, and when you're on a tight budget, they're within budget for you. Reason I wouldn't use them again is because I found them to be too flexy, especially when you're doing things like fascia, soffits and gutters, and you're often at full stretch and it's more like upside down fishing. It's the best way to describe that one. However, did get me through my first year. Right, the next level of pole that you're going to move up to will be the carbon fiber that I've already touched on. For X-Line, they're called the Evolution Pro Plus. This one's 25 meters. Within their range, they go up to 72 meters for the carbon fiber pole. What I do is I find these, compared to the hybrid, is definitely a lot more rigid, and it's that a little bit more lighter as well. So at the end of the day, if you're doing this all day long, it's going to save on the old arms and shoulders a bit, so it's worth the investment. I do find the carbon fiber poles are still quite hard wearing as well. Just for those of you who may know, these are the facelift Phantom clamps. It's just an upgrade I did myself on these, as these clamps are absolutely awesome. They don't come like this from X-Line. They'll have their clamp system on it. When my son started working for me, he had to use my old hybrid, and his arms and his back were definitely aching as he was completely new to it. So I brought him the carbon fiber pole, and it made a world of difference for him. So if you've got a budget that allows you to go for carbon fiber, then I would push for it, because at the end of the day, it's going to make you as the user a lot more happier. Now you can move up from carbon fiber to what's called high mod, or X-Line call them super high mod. In their range, it's this pole here, which is the Nano. It's an absolutely brilliant pole. I absolutely love it every time I use it. Really, really glad I took the plunge and got that one. Now, high mod poles are definitely a lot more expensive than the carbon fiber poles, normally double the price, but they're also a lot lighter and they're a lot more rigid. I'd say they're the most rigid pole going. So it gives you more control of using the brush, especially when you're trying to do fascia, soffits and gutters and you're trying to get the brackets all clean. Absolutely brilliant for that. Also, high mod poles, they're really good at getting windows, not like the one behind me, but ones that are high up and they're overextension, so they're really awkward angles or over a long conservatory roof. They definitely make your life a lot easier. If you're doing a day where you're cleaning fascia, soffits and gutters as well, using a high mod pole alongside a 4-foot pole is absolute game changer, and it saves your old arms aching. With the high mod poles, the Nano that X-Line do, they go up to a height of 62 foot. But one thing I'll definitely say is when you're using a high mod pole, you'll find it's going to cost more to replace worn out sections, which you are going to get no matter what pole you've got. Carbon fiber, like I said, is probably half the price of that almost. But I still think a high mod is definitely worth it. Definitely. So think long and hard when deciding on a pole, because your main thing that's going to direct you to what you go to will be your budget. But I'd get the best pole for your budget you can get. It's worth it in the long run, and you can always upgrade as you go along. When you do upgrade your poles, keep hold of them. They always come in handy, not just as backups. But if you've got a gutter vac, you can always stick an inspection camera on the end of that pole and use it as an inspection pole, just to help you speed up the jobs really, especially if you're working as a 2. Hope you found this video of some value, or at least helpful anyway. What I'll do is, to continue the series going, I'll start making videos on each pole that I've mentioned about and how I got on with them and how I have them set up. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.